We're talking with Nicole Sotelo. She's Director of Communications for A Call to Action, which is a group of Catholics working together for justice and equality. And Nicole, I know that a lot of Catholics have a different view than the Vatican when it comes to things like contraception or birth control or even the issue of abortion. What are the tensions like within the church on those issues, given that you have the archbishops, the cardinals who are taking such a firm, sort of conservative line on this, and yet so many of the parishioners in each of these churches around the world have such a starkly different view?
Yes, well, it's interesting you ask because just in the last week, CBS and the New York Times did a poll of Catholics here in the United States. And, just as you said, Catholics are looking for a different message from the church leaders, one that's more in line with Jesus' embrace of the marginalized, of the poor, someone who really understands the people. And the poll showed in great numbers that people are ready for a change. 69% of Catholics were hoping for priests to be able to have the option to marry. 69% again would love to see women be able to be priests and use their gifts in the church. In fact, 91% said that they would like to see the use of condoms approved to help prevent the spread of HIV and other diseases. I think we see both here in the U.S. and also with our international partners a real hope for change.
We're talking with Nicole Sotelo, Director of Communications of A Call to Action, which is an organization based in Chicago. And Nicole, we're on WCPT, a big Chicago progressive affiliate there. And because this show is so much about not just what's in the news, but what people can do to influence outcomes, for somebody who's in the Catholic Church or is just part of a particular parish, and they want to be part of this debate, and they want to try to push the Catholic Church towards some of these issues that you've articulated, what can they do?
Well, we would invite them to join with us. Call to Action is the largest Catholic Church justice organization in the country. We have over 50 chapters in states ranging from Alaska to Florida and everywhere in between. And it's Catholics who care about their faith. As I said, we have priests and nuns and lay people all working together in their home parishes, in their communities, to lift up the best of Catholicism and to do so in a way that recognizes the signs of the times today to help renew the church in the light of the gospel.
And I would imagine that a lot of Catholics are perhaps brought together simply because of their shared views and perhaps of their frustration with cardinals and the Catholic leadership on these issues.
Very much so. I think one of the biggest concerns of Catholics, both in the U.S. and around the globe, is the sexual abuse scandal. In fact, polling numbers tell us that it goes across generations. It's not just older Catholics who are concerned about this. Younger Catholics are concerned in the same numbers as older Catholics about the issue of sexual abuse in our church. And the continuing cover-up by leaders at the highest levels, here we are, 10 years after the bishops put forth their charter for the protection of children and youth, and 10 years later, the bishops still do not follow not even their own charter, let alone going beyond the charter to protect the children.
Do you think that will ever change? Is there a time at which, and what would it take to create that change?
Well, Call to Action is part of an international movement called International Movement We Are Church. And they've actually just put out a petition this week on change.org calling for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission within the church to help us open up the doors to be accountable and to really take a hard look at the truth of sexual abuse in the church and to take actions towards eradicating that from our parishes and from our communities.